She was supposed to be our 4th of July baby. She was supposed to be born July 3rd. So the 4th of July is actually one of my favorite holidays. I was very excited for a summer baby. She was born March 4th during a snowstorm.
Yep, the complete opposite.
Complete opposite. She was 1 pound 5 ounce at birth. By the next day, she had dropped to 1 pound exactly. We had thought we were going to be able to stop the labor, and our goal was to keep her in for a few more weeks till she became a more viable age. But my doctor was prepared that if she did have to come, that we were going to resuscitate no matter what. So my labor had actually slowed down for a little bit. So she thought, okay, we're safe, we're clear. So she was like, I'm going to take off for a little bit. You know, the nurses will call me if anything happens. And I was great. And then out of nowhere, it felt like somebody had dumped a bucket of ice on my body, and I started shaking uncontrollably. And at that moment, it was over. She had to come. My labor had went back into full force, and the nurses were on the phone with my doctor. So at the time that I was in labor with her, there was an on-call doctor while we were waiting for my actual doctor to arrive at the hospital. She examined me, and she told me that due to the state of my sepsis and the infection and everything that had occurred from me being in labor, that she would not survive the birth, that she wasn't going to live. Basically, by the time she was born, she would have died. And so she basically said, there's no point in trying to do a C-section. There's no point in trying at this point. She's not going to live. Thankfully, my doctor was actually on her way from the hospital at that time and had Nationwide Children's Transport team waiting to get her intubated and resuscitated right away. They said it took them multiple attempts to get her resuscitated, and they actually were like, this is the one last try to see if we can get it, and they were able to get it the very last try to get her intubated. So everything was like the one-off worst case scenario with her birth, just like everything from the beginning portion of her life. So they were really shocked that she even lived the first 24 hours. She was kind of on constant watch. I don't know what I was expecting to see, but it was just seeing her so tiny. I'm like, it's just a baby, but very tiny, like a little baby bird is how they're just so red. And I thought she had hair, but it was just black and blue bruising on her head. And her eyes were fused shut, like a little baby puppy born, fused shut for weeks. So you couldn't even see what her eyes looked like or anything like that. But what was cute is when she was born, though, we could tell that she had dad's nose. Even at 1 pound, I was like, she has your nose.
Over the hills, my bonny Irish lass, come over the hills to your darling. You choose the road, love, and I will make the vow. What? Oh, yeah.
And then as she was 1 week old, still fighting for her life, fighting off the infection from the delivery, she then became sick again. Her bowel perforated open. So she then had to have her first surgery when she was 1 pound, 1 week old, and still just trying to stay alive. We were told that she had a very, very low chance of surviving that, but she did. The first 4.5 months of her life, she had to lay stationary in a bed, was not allowed to move because she had an intubation tube down her throat on the ventilator. She developed what's called bronchopulmonary dysplasia, and that actually is caused from being on the ventilator. That was the reason for actually her long NICU stay, 236 days, was really getting her lungs ready to come home. Yeah, I know. So she was supposed to be my 4th of July baby, but she was born in the snowstorm, which is very fitting. I know she really is a miracle when the doctors would even say to us, your baby truly is a miracle, and we don't know how she's alive. Hi. Hi. I love you.